What's up, guys? Today we have a brand new video, and today we're gonna speak about my trading strategy. We're gonna talk about my trading strategy, which is smart money concepts, and I'll explain in every step I take to find a position I will take or a A+ setup for myself. Okay. So first of all, we start on the daily slash 4 hour time frame. First of all, we go to the daily. We see the daily is super bullish. um I don't see any signs of a rejection except maybe this area, so I'm not worried about looking for sales yet. Then looking at the 4 hour, the structure is also looking clean and bullish. There's nothing to be worried about. And then let's go on the 1 hour, because the 1 hour could possibly front run. And for the 1 hour, I'm still bullish, because if you look at essentially, well, you see these highs, right? And then this is just, for me, this is just pure consolidation from here towards here, right? This is just pure consolidation, a fake structure, you could call it. You could trade in between this, but it's like, this is like fake structure for me, especially because there was a weekend in between. Well, as you can see, there's a gap there, which is a weekend. But yeah, this just seems like, you're not breaking highs, you're not breaking lows and all that stuff. Essentially, you broke this high, and then you broke this low, but this isn't really the low. You would call this the real low, right? Which also gets you out of the consolidation zone. So for my bias, I am bullish, right? And then I switch to the 15-minute chart or the 30-minute chart to get my zones going, to just set my alerts and get going. Right in the morning, I'll look at charts like for like 10 minutes, and that's gonna be it. So I mark my point of interest, and then I see what price does, right? Then I just wait for price to come towards me. I don't rush to price, right? And what I do is I mark every zone that caused a new high, which is my demand zone, right? This caused a new high, so I just wait for those, and then I wait for price to tap in those zones. And I just set alerts because I don't want to be on charts, and I also want to make sure that it's during either London or New York session. If it's a really good setup, then I would take it in Asia, but I rarely trade in Asia. So as you can see, price inside my POI, we're still gonna look at it, right? And for my entry model, what I want is a chalk flip, which is a breakout structure to the downside. So essentially, the high that causes a low to break, which is this low, gets broken by this low, right? So essentially, you have a breakout structure and then a breakout structure again. This is what I would like to see, right? So let's see. Now, this is not a breakout structure. This is a liquidity sweep. So I want a full body closure above it. So I'm going to be waiting for that. And once that does happen, then I'm going to look for potential POI. And that would be this area, right? I would be looking to buy from here. And there are two types of entry models. You could either have a limit on this, right? And then you have a stop like this. Well, I use a 3-minute candle closure stop, which means if the 3-minute candle closes below, then I close my trade. If not, then not, because there's always a likeliness of getting stopped out for no reason. So let's wait. We could also go on the 15-second to get another confirmation entry, which I will show. And also, a rule I have is, if price hits TP before my entry, then I cancel, because my TPs are always liquidity areas, and once liquidity gets taken, I don't see price going. Well, if price comes back this low, I don't see it go up again, right? So let's see. Let's skip a bit, because now we're slowly coming towards London session, which is nice because we usually trade London and New York. So I've marked out this zone, which caused, well, a few highs to break here. And I'm interested for a potential buy from here. As you see, we don't get tapped in yet, but that's no problem because it's probably inducement. Let's see, now we create a new high, right? And now I'm gonna take this zone because, well, yes, we have a reaction, but I don't like the zone with the wicks, right? So I would be like this, stop like this, and then TP would be this high. Now let's see what happens. Now, unfortunately, we miss our entry uh, about, well, about 0.3 pips, which is very close. But if I had well, if I had a better zone, which would have been this one, then we would have been tapped in nicely. So unfortunately we didn't get an entry, but that is completely fine because we're now going to see how price action develops. So let's see. Well, this is not a break of the high. I would not call this a breakout. I see a lot of wicks, which also caused liquidity. But then this last candle took out all the liquidity. So now we're gonna wait for price action to develop. As you could see, this was perfectly before London opened, so that would have been a very good entry, which unfortunately we missed. But that's not a problem because we still got a few hours until our trading hours are done, right? So now we're waiting for a price here. Now I would not take a limit off this because it's just choppy in my opinion. So I would wait for a confirmation or either get a clear break above these highs, right? Which this isn't. And the reason I'm not looking for sales is because I'm bullish, and that's it. I'm not looking for any sales. Okay, so now we have a good break. Now I'm looking to buy from here, and let's see if we get a good setup. As you see, like this, stop would be like this, and we take the 3-minute candle closure, and then take profit would be this high. Right, now let's see what price action does. Our price goes a little bit higher, which is completely fine. Now let's see what price does. It's gonna take a little. Could eventually take a bit of higher TP. And price makes a good run. This is about New York kill zone, so I'm gonna mark this new zone out and looking for a buy here because I see a lot of conviction here. Again, I'll take a 3.5 pip stop considering the spreads, and then take that TP. Let's see if we get tapped in. And as price goes higher, I make my TP higher, of course. Now, as you can see, we get the tap in perfectly, and we hit TP for a 1 to 5.86. So as you can see, beautiful setup. This setup took us about 2 hours, but a beautiful execution. This is plus 5.8 R. So that's our first W. We also had almost a W here, but now I'm gonna show if there's any more to just prove that it does work, right? So essentially, let me break it down for you, right? So I'm gonna type it here. So rule number 1, right? Hold on, make this blank. So rule number 1, what we have is high time frame analysis, right? We want our bias on the daily or the 4-hour, right? Which we did. And then the second rule is 15-minute bias or 30-minute bias, right? Because if the 30 minutes is bearish, it could possibly front run the 1-hour or the 4-hour. It's completely normal, and I can't type for shit. And if the bias does align, which is the 4-hour and the 15-minute, if they do align, that is a plus for me because I would love that the lower time frame and the higher time frame align with each other. And then on the 1 minute, I look for my entries / POI, and I stick to my bias, right? Stick to bias, meaning that I'm only looking for buys. Only look for buys, which is buys at this moment. So I'm only looking for buys, no sells, no buys, only bias, right? Okay, so now let's roll price action a bit more to see what EU is gonna do. Lovely push, as we see. Now we're gonna look for areas of interest, which would be this area, but it looks a bit far, so I'm gonna wait for price action to develop a bit more because it's gonna be hard for price action to come back. Let me delete that zone. That's a plus 5.8 R, by the way. Let me put that here or even here. Now as you see, this is even if you took this limit, beautiful limit, once again you would have taken, well, you would have probably maybe taken this or even this, and if you had a 3-minute candle closure, you were completely fine. Your TP would be this. Let's see if it would hit. Well, you would have been break even, which I would, and then see price comes back. Does it close the 3-minute candle? It does not. As you can see, none of the times the price closes the 3-minute candle below, which is very important when you're trading. If you are a scalper like me, you can watch the charts, right? And let's say, for example, I'm waiting. This is my stop, right? And if I look at this and I'm gonna be like, okay, if price closes a 3-minute candle below this, I'm out. but you want to also have a hard stop, meaning that if price causes a random dump, you want to be ready. So you always want to have like for example, price crosses this line, which it did here, right? But it didn't cross this line, which would be a big low, right? So essentially, if price crosses this manually and closes below, I'm exiting. And yes, I might take a bigger loss, meaning instead of 1%, I might take 1.5%, but I'm fine with taking that risk because by taking this risk, I would have hit a 1 to 3 very, very easily, okay? And this would probably happen in half an hour. So I hope this makes any sense. Let me go again over it once again. First of all, make sure to check out my supply and demand zones video, because in that video I show you how I find my POIs where I like these where I look to buy, and as you can see they perfectly work. So make sure to check that video out because it's probably the most important thing of this strategy. And you know, high time frame analysis, like you can't trade smart money concepts with just low time frame. It doesn't exist. A 1 minute break of structure to the upside will not say you anything, right? You have a break of structure here, it didn't do shit. It broke this low very, very easy, right? So you want to be cautious about that. High time frame analysis, and then 15 minute, 30 minute bias, and then 1 minute entry. Stick to your bias. Don't look at this small rejection, doesn't mean shit. Don't look at any of that. And yeah, as I told you, stick to your bias, right? And I know there are people that trade counter trend and stuff, but I don't like that because I showed you two A plus setups and two of them hit 10R together, about 10R, let's say 9R. So you would pass your funded account in 2 trades. That's all you need, 2 trades. So I hope this video made any sense, right? So let me explain it one more time again. I start with the higher time frame, 4 hour. I'm bullish. I go to the 1 hour if needed, right? If the 4 hours choppy, you look at the 1 hour, right? Because the 4 hours sometimes be choppy, right? And now we see clearly bullish. I'm clearly bullish on this. And then we look at the 15 minute, and I'll also say a reason why I'm bullish, right? As we spoke, this is consolidation for me. A break of this low would cause me being bearish, which we didn't have. This is not a good break in my opinion. This doesn't mean we're bearish, right? Maybe if you're taking a small scalp, then maybe of course you could, but that's not what I'm doing. I'm looking for a good move. I'm not looking for a risky move. I'm looking for an A plus setup with 100% win rate. Of course, it doesn't exist, but that's what I'm looking for. And yeah, then just 1 minute or 3 minute entry model POI. You can either have the chalk flip, which I showed you, or you can just have a 1 minute demand zone, 3 minute demand zone after you break a good high with good conviction, right? For example, this is not a break of the high, right? This zone won't hold, but this is a clear break, right? And if price would come back here, this zone does hold. And if you had the 3 minute candle close, for example, you're longing here, stop loss like this with the 3 minute candle, of course. If you have big balls, this is probably news, and this just shows that news is also very, very fake. And that's a 1 to 12, 1 to 12, guys. See, so yeah, it probably took out Asia low. No, that's not Asia low. Well, that's, I don't know. Let me look at the 15 minute. Maybe it makes more. Well, yeah, maybe this zone is, yeah, it looks kind of okay. So you could have had this zone. Probably a refinement of that zone would be coming here, because this is kind of the one that breaks this and makes the whole run, which is still valid. So as you guys seen, this is my strategy. This is what I use on a daily basis on Forex. I don't use this on crypto because it doesn't work. Crypto is purely liquidity moving, which is, I use my mind for that. But yeah, this is my Forex strategy. I hope this made any sense. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know in the comments or on the Discord, link in bio. Make sure to join the Discord. As you can see, we got a pretty big Discord, and you can just post anything you want. I'll just comment on it. You see daily stuff happening. Very, very people just learning for free. You don't have to pay, you don't have to do shit. Everything is free if you want. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and that's gonna be it. Peace out.